Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Emmy the Cat Lady, and you join me here in Girdershade in the capital Wasteland. So, if you've never been here before, I'll show you the map first of all. So we're right down kind of the southwest corner. So you've got Tenpenny Tower over here, Warrington, the Robco facility, Jocko's Pop and Gas Stop, Rockland Car Tunnel, Smith Casey's Garage. So we're not too far from the location of Vault 112, and Girdershade is here on this kind of main road. So it's a tiny settlement, there's only 2 people that live here, and we're outside the house of today's subject of the Wasteland Biographies. So we're going to meet the biggest Nuka-Cola fan in the world, probably. So we can see there's quite a few Nuka-Cola bottles scattered. We've got a Nuka-Cola neon sign on the door, and if we go in here...
Well, hey there, stranger.
Hello. So this is Sierra Petrovita, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'll let her tell you in a wee second. And she settled in this place, in this little settlement, when she was about 16 years old, after she lost her parents. So at this point she's 26, and she has amassed quite the collection of Nuka-Cola stuff. As you can see, we've got giant bottle, more neon signs, banner for Quantum, there's bottles of Nuka-Cola everywhere.
Allow me to take you on my Nuka-Cola tour. Won't take long, I promise.
Yeah, so she offers a tour. She's got toys like the Nuka-Cola truck, which is something that, you know, the real company that this is based on, which is obviously Coca-Cola, has loads of that kind of stuff. I actually even have a little polar bear toy.
Won't take long,
And
I promise.
Obviously bottles and bottles and bottles of Nuka-Cola everywhere. She's got an antique fridge.
Don't even think of breaking into that.
I'm not going to. And she also has this vending machine as well, which is pristine, so she's especially proud of that. So she's amassed obviously quite a collection of Nuka-Cola merchandise here, and she's built this little museum. She also founded the Nuka-Cola fan club with her neighbour, the only other resident of Girdershade, which is a man named Ronald Laren. If you talk to Ronald, you quickly learn that he's only interested in one thing and doesn't actually care that much about Nuka-Cola. But Sierra here is kind of oblivious to his attempts to get into her pants, or at least she pretends to be. She takes his euphemisms quite literally, but he does at least help keep her safe by fending off raiders and other dangers. And he does want to help her with her ultimate goal, because he thinks that she'll be so grateful that she'll finally sleep with him. So Sierra offers a tour where you can kind of hear her tell you all about Nuka-Cola, which we will ask her to do in just a second. And you do get a wee gift at the end of it, and then she gives you a quest to do. So let's have a chat while she's eating. Hi, Sierra.
Sierra Petrovita's the name. Good to see a new face in Girdershade. I take it you're here to check out my Nuka-Cola collection and take the tour.
So, yep, you can say all kinds of things. You can say you hate Nuka-Cola, you'd rather be smacked in the head with a blunt instrument. Nah, I'm not really interested. Yes, of course. Or Nuka-Cola collection. Wow.
I have one of the best Nuka-Cola collection in the capital Wasteland. Heck, I've won the Nuka-Cola Fan Club Collection Award for the last 10 years in a row.
There's a Nuka-Cola fan club?
Yep, I'm the president, the recording secretary, and the treasurer. Once a year, we gather here in Girdershade to have a cook-off using Nuka-Cola in the recipe. Last year, I went with my poached roach and Nuka sauce. Delicious.
That's, yep. How many members are in the club?
Well, only 2 right now, me and Ronald. But membership is open to the public. You can join if you like.
So, who's Ronald?
Ronald? Oh, I'm sorry. I figured you met him already. He usually chats with people who enter Girdershade. He's my neighbor and my protector, as he calls it. Imagine if some nasty raider wanted to take my stuff. He'd show them a thing or two. He's such a sweetie. You should talk to him.
Okay. So yeah, you can ask her more about Ronald, but we're talking about Sierra herself today. So you mentioned a tour or something?
I sure did. Want to take it now? How can you resist? This stuff is so cool.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, come on then. Let me show you around. But no free Nuka-Cola until the end of the tour.
Okay, let me see your collection, Sarah.
When Nuka-Cola was invented by John Caleb Braverton in 2044, it quickly became the world's most popular soft drink. The Wonder Drink soon drew a dedicated following, which prompted the Nuka-Cola Corporation to release many promotional items like these. By 2067, a Nuka-Cola machine such as this rare, pristine model could be found on almost every street in America.
That's amazing. Okay.
Even in today's crazy world, Nuka-Cola is still the #1 choice of refreshment among Armageddon survivors.
Sure.
As promised, here's a little pick-me-up. An ice-cold Nuka-Cola. Just look at the frost on the bottle. So cold and delicious. Pardon me. I tend to lose myself when I hold on to a Nuka-Cola. Before I get to the little proposition I have for you, let me tell you a little bit about Nuka-Cola Quantum.
Okay, Quantum. Yep, tell me about Quantum.
Well, right before the bombs fell, the good folks at Nuka-Cola developed what they hoped was an improvement on the original formula. Calling it Nuka-Cola Quantum. It was said to have twice the calories, twice the carbohydrates, twice the caffeine, and twice the taste.
Okay, so what went wrong?
Well, the flavor certainly wasn't the issue. The public was just split on the unique feature of the Quantum's appearance. You see, to make it stand out on store shelves and to give it that extra kick, the formula called for a mild isotope. The effect was a drink that not only boosted your energy, but also glowed with a bright blue light.
Okay, so it's radioactive?
Oh no, only ever so mildly. No ill effects were ever recorded.
That's...
Well, it does have the unique property of making your pee glow.
Okay. Yep, so I mean, they maybe didn't record the ill effects, but you can discover that there were some deaths during the process of developing Nuka-Cola Quantum. Yeah, so also glow-in-the-dark pee, if that's what you want. Anything that changes your urine like that is certainly questionable, but why are you so interested?
I love the stuff! I can't get enough of it! I thought I was hooked on regular Nuka-Cola, but the Quantum beats it by a long shot.
We'll get back to that.
I've got to have more!
We'll get back to that. So that's where I come in, I guess. That's very like, another person that just wants me to go and get things for them, but yeah.
That's right. You bring me Nuka-Cola Quantum, and I pay you. Handsomely, I might add. For every bottle you bring me, I pay you some caps. You know, for expenses. But if you're super cool and find like enough bottles to fill my Nuka-Cola machine, 30 in all, I've got a super secret cool prize for you.
So you can try and get speech chat, like, to get the secret.
Nope, I'm not telling. It's a really cool surprise, though. You're gonna love it. I promise.
Okay.
Oh, goody. I can taste the Quantum already. Good luck to you, sweetie.
Yeah, so you can kind of, I think you can push her again, and if there's anything else, and you can ask her about Grady, that's a whole other thing. Let's see, she... Okay, there we go.
Okay. I have a schematic for the Nuka grenade. The only one in the whole capital wasteland. Bring me the bottles, and it's yours. Imagine the look on the target's face when they are burning alive in an effervescent explosion of cola and fruit flavors.
Sounds great. Yep, so that's the prize that she gives you, so you get the...
That's okay. Take your time and don't break the bottles.
I won't. So she gives you the Nuka-Grenade schematics. It's not the only one in the Capital Wasteland, like she says, but it's one way of getting it if you bring her 30 Nuka-Cola Quantums. And she also will then be able to make for you a Mississippi Quantum Pie, which calls for a Nuka-Cola Quantum, some flour and some vodka. I don't know how that makes a pie, but I'm not an expert baker, I guess, the Wasteland. But yeah, so she wants 30 Nuka-Cola Quantum in order to fill this vending machine of hers. Yep. So she's a friendly sort, Sierra. You know, she seems nice and she wants to make friends and she wants to talk about her interests. The game, certainly in Fallout 3, she is considered a good person, so if you were to kill her and you have the contract killer perk, then she does drop an ear, you monster. One thing that is kind of strongly hinted at and suggested, and certainly from the wiki it seems to be the case as well, that she does come across as potentially neurodivergent. She has this fixation on her special interest, which she dedicates her entire life to and spends a lot of time on. She tends to info dump. She really likes talking about it, which is fine. And she has this encyclopedic knowledge of Nuka-Cola. She knows the company's background, and she knows a lot about all the different products and things that they produced. So she's done her research, and it's obviously a subject that is really interesting to her and something that she wants to share with the world. She also does miss sarcasm and euphemisms she doesn't really get. She's not catching on to Ronald's innuendos. His flirting, his suggestions, she thinks he's just a friend and he just cares about her as a friend, and wants to help her because they live in the same place, and she doesn't really realise what his true desires are. She's kind of oblivious to that and definitely a little bit kind of on the naive side. And as we'll talk about in a little while, when you get to Fallout 4's DLC, where you do meet Sierra again in Nuka-World, and you're talking about what to do with Bradberton in a jar, she gets quite upset and she doesn't really see or kind of understand his perspective, that he has been stuck as a head in a jar for 200 and odd years with nobody even knowing he was there, and he was miserable, so he wanted to end his life, and she doesn't really kind of have that empathy with his situation, that because she's just so excited that she got the chance to meet this man that she never thought she would, because she thought he was probably long dead. So she does get quite upset, although afterwards, as long as you don't lie to her and say that you're going to leave him alive and then kill him, then she will kind of accept that it was probably for the best that he would be suffering for longer, just being this head in a jar that can't really do anything. So it's kind of an interesting one. So it does kind of suggest that she is potentially somewhere on the spectrum, which of course there's nothing wrong with that. And she knows what she likes, and she's quite happy with her life and dedicating everything that she's got to Nuka-Cola. So no harm in kind of leaving her to it, I think. But she obviously has this great museum that she's got set up here, and she wants to collect the Nuka-Cola Quantum. So one thing that I think is worth noting here is that she does say that she's kind of hooked on Nuka-Cola, but she's hooked more on Nuka-Cola Quantum. So likelihood is that she is actually addicted to Quantum. That is a mechanic in this game. So in Fallout 3, if you drink a Nuka-Cola Quantum, you have a 10% chance of becoming addicted to it. So I'm going to attempt to see if we can make it happen. There we go. Yep. So you can become addicted to Nuka-Cola Quantum, which apparently made my vision red for a second. Interesting. So yeah, we've got an addiction now to Nuka-Cola Quantum. So that is a thing that exists in Fallout 3. And it seems Sierra is also suffering from that addiction. The mechanic for it is present in Fallout New Vegas, but there's only one shipping crate that's in Lonesome Road that you might find a bottle of the blue glowing drink, because Quantum wasn't really included in Fallout New Vegas, certainly not in the base game, and it's not even a guaranteed spawn. It might be there, it might not be there. You would have to kind of reload a few times to potentially get it. So the chances of you actually getting the addiction to Quantum is extremely slim. They had intended originally to have the addiction mechanic include Quantum in Fallout 4, but that was cut at some point from the game, so you can no longer get addicted to Nuka-Cola Quantum in Fallout 4. So we have had a nice tour of Sierra's museum. Very, very interesting, but let's kind of travel ahead in time a little bit and we can bump into her again at Nuka-World. So we're going to head over there just now and we'll pick things up in just a second. Okay, welcome to Nuka-World. Sorry, the place is absolutely crawling with the raiders because in this save file I haven't actually really done very much here. But yes, welcome to Nuka-World in Nuka-Town, USA. And we're 10 years on from where we were before, so we've jumped in forward in time 10 years. And here's Sierra, right outside John Caleb Bradburton's office. So she's here, she's travelled from DC all the way here to visit Nuka-World. The raiders do kind of tolerate her presence as long as she stays here and doesn't wander off, but you can there's incidental dialogue that kind of suggests that they find her maybe a bit annoying, but they don't really kind of do anything to her. And she wants to complete a scavenger hunt in the park, which is a pre-war activity to find hidden Cappy images using special sunglasses. These Cappy images that are hidden all around the park, eventually they all reveal a letter, and then you can put them all together to get a code, which you would use here. But if you're doing this and you're wearing power armour, you'll need to take the helmet off or take the power armour off in order for it to work. So just keep that in mind. So let's have a chat with her. Hi, Sierra.
Sierra.
Here's hoping they didn't hide the Cappies too well.
Yeah. So she has already asked us to do that, and you can see I'm wearing the special Cappy glasses. So kind of works, I guess, along the same lines of like 3D or I don't know how it actually would work, but basically, if you don't have the glasses on, it's like a ghost image, but it becomes clear when you do have the glasses on and you can see the letter. So the code that is revealed to you by doing this activity lets you get into Bradburton's office, and what Sierra's hoping is that she'll find the Nuka-Cola formula in here, which would be the crown jewel of her collection and the most important thing for her to put in her museum back home that is dedicated to all things Nuka-Cola, as we saw. So when you get in there and you meet Bradburton, who's stuck as a head in a jar, and he has been stuck there for 210 years on his own. Nobody knows he's there. He can't move, he can't do anything because he's just a head in a jar. So when you meet him, he is really desperate and asks you to turn off his life support system and let him die. Sierra, understandably, being so obsessed with Nuka-Cola and finally meeting this man, because she obviously assumed that she never would meet him because he was probably long dead. And then she is obviously quite excited when she finds that he's still alive, sort of, and she wants to ask him all these questions and talk about everything, but he just wants to put an end to things because he's had enough. So if you agree with Sierra and you take her side and leave Mr. Bradburton alive, she wants to stay and she'll keep him company, she says, and she'll be happy to do that so that he's not alone, and she'll give you a Nuka-World jumpsuit, which isn't the most exciting prize, I have to say, but that's something that's an option. If, however, you side with Bradburton and let him die, she's obviously quite upset, but she does eventually admit that she understands the situation that he's in, and that it maybe was for the best for this man. So she'll accept the Nuka-Cola formula, because once Brad Burton dies, obviously the big safe opens and you can get the Nuka launcher and the schematics and everything that's in there, and the Nuka-Cola formula, which you give to Sierra, and she'll pay for that like she agreed at the beginning. So even though she's upset that obviously her idol has died, and she wanted to speak to him, she does kind of accept it. The one thing that would be a problem is if you say that you're going to let him live and leave her to look after him, and then you go and turn off the life support, she will turn hostile and attack. So you are in a situation where you have to, you'd have to kill her, which is kind of a shame, really. I like Sierra. I think she's a really unique and interesting character. She's obviously very knowledgeable. Yeah, she's obviously very knowledgeable about Nuka-Cola, and she's happy to share her knowledge, and she is sweet even if she's a bit naive and oblivious to danger and whatnot. She's got quite a unique collection, and she does provide you with sort of rare items and consumables and schematics and things in the games that she's in. So if you do like collecting unique stuff, and you want to get all the weapon schematics in Fallout 3 and that kind of thing, then it's worth paying a visit. I do like seeing some neurodivergent representation in the game where it's not being ridiculed, because she's pretty harmless. She just wants to share her interests, and there's nothing really wrong with that. I'd probably be a wee bit hypocritical to criticise that anyway, given that that's what I do now, is talk about everything that I'm interested in with you guys. So it's it's nice to see that, and that, she's kind of, people maybe realise that she's a bit naive. And I find it interesting that even like the raiders here, because if you go into the marketplace and around here, you can see there's loads of people with slave collars on. So the raiders obviously have no issue with enslaving people, with killing people, but they do leave Sierra alone. They don't. A lot of them sort of seem to suggest that they find her kind of annoying, but they don't harm her. They don't take advantage of her. They don't enslave her. They're just kind of like, okay, this lady's a bit obsessed, let's just leave her to it, which is an interesting thing, given the nature of these people, that they have tolerated her and just leaving her alone. And both the quests that she gives you in the games let you explore quite thoroughly. Looking for quantum, you end up all over the wasteland. And finding quantum and finding hidden cappies and things. So what's the takeaway from this? Sierra shows us that it's absolutely fine to be yourself, be who you are, be weird, and don't let people shame you for liking what you like. You're always going to end up finding people out there who might share the same interests as you, and that's absolutely fine, and you should embrace who you are and embrace what you like and what you love doing. And that's the lesson that I think we can take from Sierra. She knows what she likes, she has her interests, and she is obviously quite content to just continue to collect more Nuka-Cola related things for our museum. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So from me and from Sierra, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. What do you think about things? Have you got yourself addicted to Nuka-Cola Quantum at some point? I do want to kind of look into the actual kind of corporation and all the nonsense that has happened with Nuka-Cola and the Quantum and how it was made and all the rest of it. I think that might be quite an interesting topic for the future. But from me and from Sierra, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.